The idea of using a thinking skills approach within the course subject is supported by Howard Gardner's Multiple Intelligences, 1983, from Frames of Mind, specifically interpersonal, the ability to organise others and social relationships and working collaboratively, but also the intrapersonal, with the ability to self-reflect becoming important through thinking skills approaches. For example, assessment and reflection of problem solving. Children may ask themselves, am I headed in the right direction? This balance of independent thinking and communication with peers may build a solid base for creative approaches. Let us start with the idea of creativity itself. We need to understand what is meant by creativity. The National Advisory Committee on Creative and Cultural Education explains that by teaching creatively, we mean teachers using imaginative approaches to make learning more interesting, exciting and effective. Similarly, Hyson, as cited in an article, Solving Problems Creatively by Gartrell, has said that solving problems creatively is perhaps the brain-building activity for young children. So, how do we address this, and how would a thinking skills approach lead us towards a more creative curriculum? Let us start with mathematics. Newton and Beverton state case study findings within a graph in their article. Granted, the article focuses on English for the most part, however the findings are very interesting as they show that maths was rated as having the least opportunity for creativity. Now, teachers and pupils may have this opinion because mathematics seems to be a method-based subject, with skills being learnt in order for a method to be revised, in order for problems to be solved, in order to find an answer. However, can problem solving and its processes not be creative? Yes, we are given the method in order to solve these problems, but not how to use the methods, or where, or with what resources and with whom. Is problem solving an independent process? Back to Gartrell, whom stated in his article that there is an inherent value in a capacity for creative problem solving for the child both alone and in social situations with others. And so, this quote answers our question of with whom children will solve problems. And so, where does the problem solving take place? One example could be a money hunt in an outdoor environment with a Key Stage 1 class. A scavenger hunt with children aiming to find all 6 coins that we have in our English currency around the outdoor classroom. Within this task, children are exploring and communicating, as well as solving the problem of which coins they are yet to collect. They are also meeting the core learning requirements for Years 1 and 2 within the National Curriculum 2000, knowing the values of coins, and National Curriculum 2014, to recognise and know the value of different denominations of coins and notes. To conclude, it is clear that learning intentions with the national curriculum can be met using a creative thinking skills approach in mathematics and the use of resources and space outside the classroom. Furthermore, the idea of exploring and communicating in order to solve a problem leads us on to science. In science, the idea of solving problems through thinking skills approaches such as exploration and discovery seems to be the basis of primary science. Isn't that what the basis of scientific investigation is? An article by Gungar Seyhan introduces the idea of problem solving in science. It is stated that in order to find solutions to problems, students have to collect and implement new knowledge as well as researching, taking decisions and working in cooperation with their group members. Granted, Gartrell is not discussing scientific exploration and problem solving in his article, Solving Problems Creatively. However, he supports the idea of children problem solving together and discussing ideas. He states, "Nothing promotes reconciliation and significant learning like friendly sharing in a creative activity. Hypothesizing, experimentation, and reaching a conclusion are all stages of investigation, crucial in primary science, as well as learning how to conduct a fair and accurate test. An example of problem solving within an investigation could be an electric circuit. Electricity is not introduced until Year 4, and one statutory requirement stated in the 2014 National Curriculum under electricity is to ensure that children can construct a simple series electrical circuit, identifying and naming its basic parts, including cells, switches and buzzers. If a child completes a circuit, but the bulb has not lit up, the child or children will identify that there is a problem. Ofsted 2010 have defined creative approaches, of which one is questioning and challenging, and another reflecting critically on ideas and actions and outcomes. To conclude, the children would be clearly indicating several thinking skills approaches to creatively solve the problem. They are thinking clearly about what problems have arisen and are discussing the problems and will investigate in order to find a solution. This indeed can be seen as a creative process. As stated previously, Newton and Beverton show a study within their article, and English was voted the second most creative subject in their survey. Jones and Wise lend support to this idea of creativity being constant within English with a statement: "It is not difficult to argue that English is a creative subject." Creative thinking skills approaches within English include communicating with peers in different ways, and perhaps exploring new vocabulary to create, for example, a more engaging story. Of course, English is not just about the development of reading, writing and spoken language skills. It is the process of creating a character, a scene, an emotion, all perhaps for an end product. Similarly, the National Curriculum 2014 states some excellent points in the statutory requirements of spoken language years 1 to 6. These include the requirements to: Number 1. Maintain attention and participate actively in collaborative conversations, staying on topic and initiating and responding to comments. Number 2. Use spoken language to develop understanding through speculating, hypothesizing, imagining and exploring ideas. The last requirement listed is seemingly important within the element of creativity in the subject. Children have to be able to develop their understanding further by speculating what may happen next. Furthermore, children may perhaps be solving a problem that may arise from a text, such as a moral problem, an example being Ted Hughes' The Iron Man. Children could be asked, why would the farmers and people of the town not just leave the Iron Man alone? Or could discuss what may happen next. Do you think the Iron Man will stay hidden? Additionally, children can be incredibly creative within roleplay. Drama and roleplay allow discussion and interaction with peers, as well as problem solving to create an end product. Children can create scenes with well-known characters or ones that have been created, and even a script to develop their English writing skills. They will be continuously developing their creative processes through small spells of problem solving, and solving these by discussion and communication. Greenfather argues that children do not have to fully comprehend a plot or a text to be able to roleplay. Dramatisation helps students better understand the plot and the feelings of characters, even if they do not initially comprehend all of the words. To conclude, children may struggle to comprehend a written text. However, through discussion with peers and non-conventional ways of progressing in writing, reading and spoken language, children may improve their ability to comprehend a text, as well as explore their creativity greatly. I have focused greatly on the idea of communicating and exploring through the core subjects in collaborative situations, with advantages outlined. However, it could be argued that group exercises are not always to the advantage of each individual child. Back to Gardner and his multiple intelligences. Children work in different ways, and so a communicative thinking skills approach may not be to the best advantage for some. To conclude, Perhaps a more intrapersonal, self-reflective approach may be more of an advantage. Skills approaches I have discussed can still be as effective in an individual sense, allowing children to learn creatively.